Do this. Yay!
Yay, we are live.
Hello, everybody. How are you? We are the movie couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And we're here. Happy Saturday. We're here to. I feel like we're a little off. Do I need to scoot this way a little bit? There.
Oh, no. I get to move closer to Wendy now.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
So, happy Saturday, you guys. I woke up real early our time because I was doing Perry Nemirov's live stream a little earlier today. That was so much fun. It's been a minute since I've talked to her because, well, one, we're all staying at home, so no one's seeing each other. And two, she's not even in LA.
Yeah, she's
so even
off
if
in New York.
I could see her, I can't. So it was nice to see her face and have a little chat before the live stream chat and a little chat after the live stream chat. It was nice to catch up with friends and things like that. So I hope you guys can all see us. I'm seeing Jack Robbins saying that is it not on? I think
it's not. What's not on?
Us. Oh no. Okay, Debbie just wrote back. So she said the stream was awesome. So yes. It was a lot of fun. We talked a lot of stuff. There'll be a little bit of a repeat topic here because I want to kind of get Dustin's take on these topics. But let's go ahead and get started with what we're doing today. We're going to keep it real casual, and I know it's Saturday.
Saturdays are usually our casual days, kind of just looking at comments, doing some Mad Libs, a little bit of news here and there. Yeah,
we have a little bit of news topics. We're going to talk about live-action Hercules. We're going to talk about a slight update to the Oscars rule for the VOD titles. And then for the rest of the show, we're just going to do some AMA, and we're going to play some Mad Lib, because last week we had a really good one with Guardians of the Galaxy Mad Lib. We're going to continue with another one today. It's also going to be Guardians of the Galaxy, so start getting your brains in those adjectives and verbs and nouns headspace there. So starting off today, what we are watching. So yesterday, actually before we get into all that, we have on our channel, just so we can kind of tell you guys what is up on our channel. We have
what we've been reviewing, what we've actually been spending a lot of our time during this period doing.
We've been doing, let's see, 2 Star Wars content went up yesterday.
Because it was such an amazing episode.
It was such a good episode, and of course, by that we're talking about Clone Wars, episode 11 entitled Shattered, and we have a spoiler review up on that, so go ahead and give that a watch if you've already watched the episode and you know what's happened, so we don't want to be responsible for spoiling things for you, but so that's up. And also our reaction for the episode, we don't typically record our reactions as we're watching the show. We just like to watch the show, but we
just had a feeling that this one was going to inspire some big reactions.
And also one of the viewers, and I can't remember which name he goes by, or maybe it's she, but they were asking both on Twitter and I think it was on my Instagram too, for us to react to the final 2 episodes. So we decided there's only 2 left, so we might as well do it for this one and the one that's coming on Monday. So look for that. Both of those are up on our channel, as well as some movie reviews, for Extraction and for Bad Education, which no one is watching. And I don't mean our review, I mean the movie. It's really
it's a really good movie, and it deserves some love. It's just the fact that it's not on one of the main streaming services. It's not on Netflix, it's not on Hulu, it's not on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's on HBO. Yeah. So, since Game of Thrones isn't going on HBO anymore, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been like, well, there's no more Game of Thrones, so might as well dump it. Yeah.
Yikes.
Depending on how much love some of these reactions get that we're putting up for Star Wars, maybe we'll do more. I mean, depending on how much love they get.
We'll see. I don't typically, I said, I don't like to record us watching a whole show. One, it's a real pain to edit.
Yeah.
It's a real pain to edit, and I had some trouble with even just exporting the footage, which is troubling because it's you spend all this time to record your reaction and just to even set up the camera, and for it to not go through is just such a headache, and it's time wasted, and I don't like to have my time wasted. I like to make full use of my time, so that's why I really want to be selective to what we are doing, a full show or movie reaction to. We never react to a movie, that's way too long. Nobody's got time for that.
But to be able to cut a 25 30 minute episode down to
I gotta move this
a 10 to 15 minute video. That's a lot of editing and a lot.
Sorry guys, earthquake.
Ah!
Oh, that's so much better.
There
Okay.
we go.
But yeah. So, if you guys get a chance, check those out. I have a question from Chris Mendez who wrote. Let me go ahead and put this up on the thing. Chris says, "Oh, that's the wrong person. Sorry, MK.
Right before you clicked,
I know it went up. It does that." Chris Mendez wrote, "Do you like Star Wars Rebels? Star Wars Rebels. We love Star Wars Rebels. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you do, especially in season. Wait.
Oh, that's not until I think that's like near the end.
Okay,
one of
like
the last. I think it's the
6,
last
5
season
or something like that.
Last season,
there's
that one's in
one
there.
episode in particular that if you guys are not caught up with Rebels, there was a huge spoiler in there, which I think I've actually already talked about it.
Yeah.
But I'll just call it. I'll say it's the Twin Sons episode because that doesn't give anything away.
I love that episode.
If you're not,
that is such an amazingly awesome way to end a huge story arc that has been going on since Phantom Menace.
Yes. So I suggest you guys, once you're done with Clone Wars, and if you're itching for more Star Wars animated content, go for that one. Mm-hmm. That is a really, really awesome show. Let's see. Jack Robbins is asking if you're still growing out your hair.
Well, not growing it out.
We'll show it to you.
I mean, yeah, I haven't cut it yet.
It's long, dude.
I had to wait to actually get a. Yeah, it's getting. What does I look? What is it? If I go like this, I can look like Cousin It. Like, but yeah, I do plan on. I finally got some of the big clippers that you can they use at barbershops and stuff. So now I'm going to be able to just go. Bzzz. I just, it's a big step to take, and it's a little nerve-wracking because you're kind of like, what happens if it all goes wrong? You're kind of stuck with what you got. So I'm going to start with
like... So it's all or nothing?
Kind of. I mean, especially if you just go bzzz, and then you're like...
Well, never go down the middle, right?
No, yeah, I'm going to start at the sides.
Because then you have to really commit all the way, like, around your head.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So I've been meaning to do it. It's just, 1, a little nerve-wracking. 2, the setup is kind of a pain. And 3, I've kind of already done, I did like a video on my beard. And then I was going to go into it, and I hit a hurdle, so to speak. So I plan on cutting it. I think it's probably a good thing to do. And there is going to be a vlog for that once he actually gets to the cutting part. Yeah, maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll do it later, either tonight or tomorrow. We might just be doing that. Yeah. On top of what else we've been watching, we actually started watching Prop Culture. This is on Disney Plus, and the reason this popped up on our radar is because our friend Tony Swatton, who is a blacksmith, swordsmith. A blacksmith. He's a blacksmith he's done like swords and weaponry for tons. We should have brought some of the swords up here to show them. Mm-hmm. We'll do it in the vlog. We actually own a lot of Tony Swatton property because since we've been doing sword fighting, that's where you get them. I mean, if you need any kind of sword or weapon for Hollywood, for stage, for theater, one of the biggest guys to go to is Tony Swatton down in Burbank. Yep. Sword and Stone. And I have to do a real quick shout out to This Life of Ours. Hi, you guys. I met them at D23. They are just so lovely. We were waiting in line to meet Ashley Eckstein at D23, so we got to chatting. And you guys want to check out their YouTube channel if you're into Disney content. They do all the Disney contents, and they're just overall fun to watch. So hello, and thanks for hanging out today with us at our stream. Sorry to interrupt you. So yeah, Tony Swatton, we've known Tony Swatton for years. I mean, I remember when he was making the swords for Pirates of the Caribbean. And what is it called? He was actually on an episode of Prop Culture talking about the swords, talking about how he made them, talking about how he actually makes them in the style of the way that they used to, with the old hammer, but he also has a lot of new technology that allows him to be able to do the work faster. Like he has one of the a special hammer that's able to do a lot of press. He just has to like push a little button down on the floor, and he's able to make some amazing pieces of art. Yeah. And we actually own some of them. I actually own a lot of them. Yeah, I think I only have 2, maybe 3. No, you have your rapier, you have your pirate sword. Oh yeah,
I think that's it, honestly. But you have way more. I just
me,
borrow all
on
of
the other
his.
hand,
Well,
I
you've been
have
doing that
two
for
cutlasses, a broadsword, a rapier, a spear, a shield, a breastplate,
a small sword,
a s-
right? One
oh,
of
I have
the
a
like a gladiator,
I have
like
a
a
gladius, a sickle sword, what is that called? The medieval. No, but yeah, I have a whole. I have like a just a big bucket
we
downstairs,
literally have a big bucket. If you guys want to see
almost trash can size.
our I guess like weapons sword fighting collection, let us know in the chat and in the comments, and maybe we'll do a vlog
Yeah,
one
put
day
together a little
for
fight.
it. Yeah, we'll put together a little fight for you. But the reason why we brought up Tony Swatton is because he is featured in an episode, and MK Songbird actually called it out. It's the one all about Pirates of the Caribbean. That was actually the
Hmm.
very first episode we watched. What's kind of cool about these shows on Disney Plus is sometimes you don't need to watch it in like release order. Like
Yeah.
for shows such as Prop Culture, you can kind of skip around because they all have a consistent format,
Yes.
so you can just really watch whatever. And last night, because we wanted to see Tony's episode, we just decided we're going to watch the Pirates of the Caribbean one. And it's really cool because we had seen Tony talk about it on his social media. He's like, hey guys, I'm going to be involved in this. And then sure enough, the Prop Culture show showed up on our Disney Plus, and we're like, we got to watch it. And it's just fun to see Tony, who we've known for years,
Yeah.
getting to show off, his work and his skills. And no one really makes weapons the way he does anymore.
Yeah.
He makes his swords, and if you watch the episode, with aircraft aluminum, which means they're much lighter, especially for some swords that are going to be used for screen fighting. It's much easier to use and handle, and you're not gonna like really hurt someone. I mean,
Yeah.
if you get whacked,
Oh, it's still gonna hurt.
but it's not gonna cut through you like a real sword.
Yeah, it's not. They're not sharp.
They're not sharp.
I mean, if you want him to make you something that is 100% authentic, then yeah, he can do that for you.
Yeah.
But for swords, we have out of aircraft aluminum, so when you're doing a fight 100 times, so you can get the shot. Okay, now we want to do it from this angle. Okay, do the whole fight again. Okay, now we're doing it from this angle. Do the whole fight again. If you're using steel, your arm is just going to be like, oh my god, my arm's going to fall off. But since it's made out of aircraft aluminum, you can do that fight 100 times.
I mean, you'll still get tired, but it's much easier to handle than a steel sword.
And for what he does, his prices are actually very reasonable. For swords,
I feel like we got a slight discount.
Well, yeah, because we might have gotten a little bit better of a deal because we have bought so much stuff. We
bought so much, we kept on going back, and
and we've known him for years.
Yeah.
So, but his work is amazing.
Sword in the Stone.
Not Sword in the Stone.
And
Sword
the Stone.
and the Stone.
So, if you guys wanted to check out Tony's like business and what he has, and maybe purchase a couple of things from him, I think he still sells to the public.
I think you have to go in there privately.
I'm not sure 100%. It's been a really long time since I even talked to him.
Yeah. So, well, I think I just saw him last September because
did you?
One of the swords that I'd had for years, something on the pommel kind of popped off. And he's like, "Oh yeah, bring it in and fix it. I'll fix it up for you." And I was like, "Cool."
Nice person.
Mm-hmm. Very laid back, very cool.
Mm-hmm. And so because of that, we started to watch Prop Culture, and we actually really enjoy the format of the show.
Yeah.
We both really like the host.
Yes. And the host does a really great job because you can tell, one, he is very knowledgeable about all of the movies and all of the props, but he's also a really good host.
Yes.
So he has a good personality. You can tell he's excited. And there's a lot of those moments to where they pull out, like they had one in the Mary Poppins episode, where a lot of the props have been lost. So he's gone out and tried to find them, tried to dig them up, and then show it to the actors like who haven't seen them in like 40 years.
Yeah, just a nice walk down memory lane. It gets a little emotional in a good way. So it's a really fun, if you love all Disney film, if you love movie making and anything that goes into making a movie, from like costumes to sets to prop pieces and weapons and things like that, this is the show for you. We can't wait to dive into it more because there's like a Nightmare Before Christmas
one. That's the one I really want to see.
Dying to see that. Dying to see Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because we did a retro trailer review for Roger Rabbit, and it was just so much fun to kind of look back and be like, oh yeah.
And I'm just like, I want to see that episode because I want to see the props that they used, because a lot of it had to be removed in order for them to put in the, what is it called, the animation.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see how they did some of the tricks. I want to see a making of Roger Rabbit. I should sit down and watch. I'm sure there's.
I'm sure there's tons at this point because the movie's so old.
Yeah.
But I am the same with you because it's really cool to see the blend of animated coming together with live action. That's really, really cool. I know that this is going to be like an AMA episode, so I want to scroll back through the chat and kind of pick out a couple of questions before we move on to our next topic. So this one comes from MK Songbird, who writes, do you prefer Disney World or Disneyland? And did you happen to catch the recent news about the original plans for Galaxy's Edge? Yes, we have an answer for you. Do you prefer Disney World or Disneyland?
Well, I mean, it's very hard to compare the two because Disneyland is the OG, you know? Disneyland is where everything first started. It was when they were first trying to figure out how to get things to work. And then Disney World is when they're like, hey, you know what? We know what works and what doesn't. So now let's buy as much property as we can, have all of the space in the world in order to make whatever we want, and just let all of the artists and let all of their Imagineers just go nuts. So Disney World is, of course, a lot bigger, has a lot more to offer. There's a lot of things that are done better. I think there's also a lot of stuff that I prefer at Disneyland. Like, I prefer our Pirates of the Caribbean more than theirs. But I think that the Disney World's Haunted Mansion is a lot better.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of give and take. But overall, I would have to say Disney World. Just because you get the Magic Kingdom, you get Animal Kingdom, you get Epcot, you get the Disney Studios, you get, I mean, there's tons of stuff there, and they're still not done building it up. They're still doing a lot of renovations and building up at Disney Studios.
Yeah.
So I went, the last time I did a huge Disney World vacation was many, many, many years ago.
It was
well, not
before
with,
we got, oh, okay.
Yeah, not, well, you and I were only able to do Disney World for like one day.
We were lucky that we were able to go. We had some hookups, so we got to go into the park for a day because we had somebody that was able to sign us in.
Yeah.
But we had one day, luckily,
to do everything, all the parks.
So we had to choose and pick between like what parks we wanted to go to because there's Magic Kingdom. There's, I still want to call it MGM Studios.
I know.
That's just
Same here.
like our little traditional selves. But it's what is it?
It's now Disney Studios.
Disney Studios.
I think it is.
I don't like the name. I'm sorry. MGM Studios forever, even though it doesn't really even exist anymore.
But the best
Epcot
thing,
and Animal Kingdom.
The best show I have ever seen has been that Indiana Jones stunt show.
Oh, in Florida?
I love that show. And ever since I've seen it, I'm like, I want to be a part of it. I want to do it. But I'd have to move to, I mean, honestly, what I think would be really cool.
If we moved to Orlando, I mean, all my friends live there.
Orlando, just for like 1 year. And during that 1 year, we just buy a season pass and we're going like every week and we just do tons and tons of coverage on Disney World stuff.
That would be so, I mean,
that would be so
cool,
and just live there for like 1 year and then be kind of like, okay, let's find out, let's move to Japan for a year.
The dream, you guys. That's my dream. I was upset. I became obsessed with just like after our trip to Japan. I was like, I need to like live here for a year or two.
But yeah, I have not done a full-on spend like a week at Disney World for a really long time. You actually used to do it all the time, huh?
I lived in Florida. So to answer MK's question, do I prefer Disney World or Disneyland? I think up until a few years ago, I preferred Disney World is because I am from Florida, so I am kind of, you know, that's like my hometown. So I love Disney World. Like, I think the castle is spectacular. I still, till this day, like that castle better than the Disneyland castle. But then I like the Tokyo Disney castle better than the Disney World castle. So
there's something that actually is really interesting that someone just asked the.
Okay, hold that thought so I can finish mine before.
Okay, go ahead, finish your thought.
Because we have to get to the second part of his question.
Okay.
But Disney, so I prefer Disney World for a really long time. I think it's a lot of the rides are done better. I think a lot of the food is better. I think just a lot of some of the other stuff that, and maybe because it's something that I've enjoyed from since I was little, since I lived in Florida. So I've always kind of been like that's my Disney. But moving here and living in LA and having Disneyland really really close, because I when I lived in Florida I lived in Miami, so that meant like a 3.5 4 hour, you can make it in 2.5 hours if you drive fast enough. But I've never done that. Typically 3.5 to 4 hours from Miami to Florida, sorry, Miami to Orlando. And so I wouldn't be able to go up all the time, but I would like maybe every other weekend because I had a pass and I had friends who worked there, so, and friends I could stay with, so it was easy peasy. But here, it's a probably 45-minute drive, an hour if there's lots of traffic on the 5, which it's LA, so when is there no traffic? But I find Disneyland so endearing. It's kind of a different experience. It feels like you're coming home to it. Something, it's very familiar.
Yeah.
It is smaller, so for season pass holders, I feel like we know the place so well that we don't go for like, you got to tick off XYZ list for these things that we have to, go on this ride, have this food, stand in line to get what it's like, because we're lucky enough to be in this position, we can kind of go whenever. And a lot of times we go just to go.
Just to kind of feel the magic of Disneyland. And maybe we'll go down for like a few hours and maybe go on one ride, but then like sit around, eat some popcorn, watch a show, lay back, and just absorb the magic, that is
Disney. Have a churro, have some popcorn, probably buy merchandise. Most definitely buy merchandise
and
every single time.
Just get lots of food.
And then quickly to answer his second part of the question, the original Plans for Galaxy's Edge, and you and I both talked about this, is that instead of being set on Black Spire Outpost, it was going to be set in Tatooine. On Tatooine.
Which might have come off better.
I honestly would love that, because that is like OG Star Wars, and I think the reasoning behind it is because they wanted to like build forward and not backwards. But it's kind of like, well, Tatooine's still there. It's not like Alderaan.
Yeah, I really think that they. I think that was something that was really missing. Was some of the original nostalgia from the original movies was kind of missing. It seemed like they were really trying to push new stuff down your throats. When I think if they would have just had the theme of Tatooine or a planet that we're familiar with, I think that would have added a little something to it.
And everything that they still have in the land would still make sense in a Tatooine setting. Like you can certainly have Doc Ondars. You can most certainly have the cantina.
Yeah.
Like all of that would still make sense, but I understand what they were trying to do. And I think the landscape of Black Spire, like, it's really cool when you look at, the Millennium Falcon and you look up and that there's this spire, and then they can, they have a whole book about it, and Vi, which is the character that the book is based on, or is introduced to us to,
the book that she's in.
Like, she kind of is a wandering character along with Rey and Kylo and Chewie and the Stormtroopers. So I think it's kind of cool to kind of blend the literary part of
I think
Star
it would have
Wars.
been really fun, though, is if they were able to have like some Jawas running around, and all the Jawas would do is just, that'd be great to hire a whole bunch of little people to go around and just kind of wreak havoc all over the park. Whoa-tee-dee! And just like going around stealing people's stuff.
That would be so funny. If you're having a bad day as a cast member, you can go and knock over somebody's drink. I mean, that wouldn't technically be allowed. That would be against the rules. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be a little bit of a brat if you want to.
Yeah. It's kind of like being able to be a villain at Disneyland. You can kind of be a dick and get away with it.
Yeah. And then now before we move on to the next topic, we want to answer this one question because I know you saw it and I saw it too. And this one comes from Vanja, who writes, but Japan is very expensive, right? In Japan, he's talking about Tokyo Disney. So, if you guys didn't know, aside from Disney World and Disneyland, there's also Paris, Disneyland Paris, Disneyland Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. All of those lands, to our knowledge, aside from Tokyo, all are licensed with the Disney parks.
Yes. Maybe the ones in China might have a different one because
we have to look into it.
Yeah.
But Tokyo is a franchised park. It's not a licensed
It's not owned by Disney. They own the properties.
Correct.
But they do not own what they do with it, how they put the things together. And also most of the money does go to whoever owns the franchise in Japan.
So the ride, to keep it consistent with the Disney branding, they do have Disney Imagineers from here going over there, and then sometimes they do bring the Tokyo Imagineers over here so we can all collaborate and make sure that these rides, for example, like a Monsters Inc. ride,
Yeah.
would be kind of consistent with the story, but they kind of get freedom to do a lot of the things, and a lot of the things we feel is done better, to be completely honest with you. We absolutely love Tokyo Disney.
And honestly,
and the price, okay, go ahead.
I was going to say the price is actually a lot cheaper than you would think. True, you have to pay for the flights, you have to pay for the hotel, and you still have to pay to get in, which does add up to be expensive. Maybe we can do a stream on our Tokyo Disney experience, because I know all the vlogs that are not up yet, but if you guys want to see us just do a live stream and talk about Tokyo Disney and our experience with it. I mean, we're not experts. We've only gone once, and we spent we spent
3
1
days in Tokyo. We took there's 2. So
we had 3 days, 2 of which was spent at Disneyland
because we wanted to experience it from morning to night. Like we did rope drop, and we came back and the next day to hit the other parks. So the pricing, aside from, if you take away from air travel and lodging, the prices for a Disneyland park is significantly cheaper than here. The merchandising is significantly cheaper than here. Actually, I'm gonna go grab one thing, and I'll let you guys guess the price. And I'll tell you
got a couple of things.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
So, I mean, that was the big thing that we were like, wow, I can't believe that this is this price. I mean, like sweaters, hoodies that are normally like $60 were like $40 over at in Tokyo Disney. So if you go to Tokyo Disney, something Wendy and I do really recommend, save some money and an extra suitcase to be able to buy merchandise, because you'll be able to buy twice as much merchandise in Tokyo at Tokyo Disney and Tokyo Disney Sea than you would be able to buy in Florida or LA, or Orange County.
Yes.
Those, and plus they have some really cool stuff, because they can make whatever they want, because they have the licensing to do it, but they can do a lot of really cool stuff. So Wendy,
I feel that Tokyo's merchandise is so much better.
Yes.
And I absolutely love the merchandising that we get here in the U.S., because God knows how much money I spend on mouse ears and
lightsabers
and everything else. But over there, they get very creative, because the what is it called? Like the culture for merchandising and everything is really, really different. And we have a super chat from Christopher Mendez. Thank you so much, dude. Okay, let's go ahead and put this up. So Christopher wrote, "You should really do the Walk in Walt's Footstep tour." What? You get a tour of both parks, learn some history, and go inside Walt's apartment.
I want to do that. Oh, because that's kind of like a VIP tour, right? So, I mean, you'd get to be able to go and see all of the cool, like Walt's apartment. That's right above the fire station.
Yes.
And you get to see both. Okay, so we said,
I didn't know you get to go into it.
You get a tour of both parks.
How much is that? Can we afford it?
Well, you know what? It might be cheaper now.
Well, that's certainly
once
true.
Disney reopens.
Thank you so much for that tip, Chris. We are going to look into it, and as soon as we can, go back to Disneyland when everything does reopen here in the U.S. and in California. We are definitely going to look into it. I literally didn't know it. Like, that's such a cute name, Walk in Walt's Footsteps.
I love that.
Oh,
I really want to do that.
And I'm such a sucker for Disney history.
Yeah.
Even if it's something I've heard already before, I absolutely love it. It's about $100 a person, Chris says. That's not bad.
I'm wondering if it's $100 per person plus ticket.
Yeah, but if we're pass holders.
Oh yeah, true.
Then we don't have to buy an extra ticket. We just have to book it.
That might be good to do something like for our anniversary, or for like one of our birthdays.
Ooh, anniversary sounds great. And hello to Late to the Party. Welcome.
Hey guys.
Welcome to Saturday Party. I want to figure out a day where we can do.
Dorks.
I want to figure out a day where we can get Late to the Party to our stream. I got to figure out how to do that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Oh, and oh my God, Chris, you're just full of tips today. Pass holder discount applies. We actually
Yes.
have to call Disney because our pass expires on the 14th.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's soon.
So he's gonna have to make the call.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it's underneath my name and all
Yeah.
that fun stuff.
Okay, so we're gonna do. Thank you so much, Chris, for that. We so appreciate you letting us know. We are definitely gonna put that down. That is 100% something we're gonna do as soon as we
Yeah.
are able.
And the money that
to
you
go
gave
back.
us for the super chat is going to go towards that.
Yeah, it's gonna go. It's gonna go right towards that.
Right towards it.
So we're gonna do a quick before we go into the next topic. A quick guess the price. So this is something. Oh wait, I have to look at the price first before you guys let you guess it, because we're talking about how much of a difference is like to a Disneyland or Disney World merchandise, like pricing wise, or Tokyo Disneyland pricing. So let me just find the price on this thing before
And in
I
the
show it to
meantime,
you.
while Wendy goes and tries to find the price, I have Nubby here.
Nubby!
Hi, Nubby face. You always want to be on screen. So I'm just going to hold her and give her some loves.
Okay.
Oh,
so
you
I
have it?
have this headband. It's a Winnie the Pooh headband.
Which looks, of course, absolutely adorable on Wendy.
It's really cute. It actually has a little bee that's embroidered, not printed, embroidered on, and then it's got obviously the little ears, and it's got the little red. So I haven't even worn it to the park yet, as you can tell, because I haven't taken the thing off. And I bought way more at Tokyo Disney.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead and write in the chat how much you think this would be at Disneyland or Disney World. You don't have to include tax. Let's not worry about that.
Yeah, so take a guess on what you guys think this, how much this is.
I don't know how much this normally would be at Disney, because they started to sell this type of merchandise at Disney. But if I had, without knowing the price of this, like before I had gone in, and when I first saw it, I would have guessed anywhere between $19.99 to $23.99.
Yeah.
For the land here.
That sounds about right.
Because a pair of mini ears are $24 or $23, depending on how extravagant it can be. Because if it's like the collector ones, then that's like 70 something plus. So that's what I was thinking. But in Tokyo, so this is priced for 1,500 yen.
Okay. So what is
and that equates?
I'm thinking
to,
you already did the calculations on that.
That equates to $14.03 US dollars, and you don't pay taxes.
$14.
$14
in Tokyo Disney.
And I gotta find. Debbie says $45 in Disneyland. I don't know if is that true?
Yikes! That's.
I don't feel like this would cost more than a pair of ears, of the regular ears. But who knows? Because I have this one, and I don't feel like I need 4 of them.
Yeah.
I haven't bought any at Disneyland, but I have seen them. I just actually never looked at the price. So that's something to look forward to the next time we go back.
If you go to Tokyo Disney, make sure you save some money for merchandise, because that is the best. And I mean, because you'll get the best deals in Tokyo Disney, and they have just some of the coolest stuff. Like, what was it? They have another headband that it's like Winnie the Pooh, but it looks like they're holding on. Those first originally started in Tokyo Disney.
They don't sell that in the States yet.
They don't? I actually thought they had started, or I mean, you know what it probably is? I saw people at Disneyland wearing them, and they could have gotten them from Tokyo Disney, and they're just huge Disney fans and came in with them. So, but I could have sworn that they started selling them at Disneyland, but I'm not going to be able to look until we get back there. Oh yeah, that's right. They also had these.
So this is what Dustin's talking about. It's a little headband, and it's got. Can they see?
Yeah, you can see. It's like the whole Winnie the Pooh, and he's holding on. You have a little bee right here, which is absolutely adorable. But then
I don't even like Winnie the Pooh like that much. But this is like, look how cute this face is with the little bee. I was not gonna pass this up, and that's why I got. They do Winnie the Pooh really well over there.
Apparently Winnie the Pooh's like huge.
He's so cute. And then I got these. Also, these are the Tokyo Disney snow they called it. It's like their winter holiday ones. So I bought this. I don't remember how much it is because I took off the tag, and I have worn it since. But yeah, it's just
probably only like $19.99.
Probably. Who knows?
Because if that strap that you have was what is it called? My brain just went bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, This Life of Ours. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
You guys are awesome. And like we said, we met them. Well, actually, I met them. You didn't get to. At D23 in line while we're waiting to meet Ashley Eckstein. No, you didn't get to go, which is crazy.
No, I want to go to D23 so bad. That and
Next
Star Wars.
year.
Have you been to Star? You've been to Star Wars celebrations, haven't you?
This was gonna be the first year that I was gonna try to go. I actually did apply for press badges for us, for Star Wars Celebration, but like we don't know what's gonna happen with that. But yes, thank you guys so much to This Life of Ours. Check out their YouTube channel. Just click on their little. Can they click on other people's? Yeah, they can.
I think so.
In the chat, just click on them.
I think so, Brian.
So much Disney content. It's all delightful, and it's not just like parks. It's like cruises and things like that too. So they go everywhere, and they're just so much fun. This is the other thing.
This is one thing that Wendy got that was like, really? That's super cheap, and it's super cute.
So this is like a towel blanket. It's a little Mickey shrug, I guess you can call it, and there's little buttons in it, so you can make it into a blanket, or you can turn it into, you can actually put your
arm through it.
And so when I first saw this, let me know what you guys think.
Yeah,
how much
we're putting the prices right here. What is your, without going over, what is your guess on the price of this Mickey Mouse blanket shroud thingy?
I'm stuck.
Oh, okay. Here, pull. There we go. And it's just super cute. And at first, when Wendy showed it to me, I was like, okay. But then she put it on, and I'm like, okay, that is super cute. Yeah. And then she's like, oh wow, look at the price. And I was like, whoa.
Okay, so I love how some of you are guessing U.S. price are like $25 because in California, they would have charged us.
This thing would have been easily like $69.
Between $42.99, I think, to $49.99.
Oh, I think they would have even charged like $60.
Even
I mean, heck, the hook,
because it's really thick and it's reversible. I can show you guys the print.
Mm-hmm.
Inside. So you guys see that? This, I cut the price tag off because I wore the day of because it was freezing and I needed. I was not wearing the right outfit.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean,
it was
like $29.99, right?
$27.
$27.
When I did the conversion,
it was,
I was
less
like,
than $30. I remember, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, this is really cool because there's little buttons on the side, and then when you undo it, this whole thing becomes a blanket.
Either like a blanket, or it can be more of like a scarf.
So there's like multiple ways you can wear it. On the Disney, you can see it on, I think, the Tokyo Disney website. Yeah. So I bought it.
Japan just has some of the best merchandise. Yeah. So, and
not to mention the damage we did when we went to the Pokemon Center.
Oh yeah, that's right. We bought
that was not
our Japan trip was
very expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
I mean, we saved up a lot of money.
We saved up for a long time. And we really we've been wanting to go. Yeah.
This Life of Ours, yeah, that's they get Disney pricing. Like that's exactly how much we thought it was going to be. So when I did the conversion, I was like, and I did it a couple of times. So when I had it in my hand, he was like, how much is that? And I was like, $27. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be like $60, $70.
Yeah. So it's really, they have it. You can actually buy it. There are, if you're okay with like paying for shipping and handling, there's actually websites that will I don't know if they're doing it now because all the parks were closed, but there are services that they do like pickups. So if you want something that they don't have on their site, you can kind of tell them what you want, and it's essentially they're like personal shoppers for international Disney parks. I did buy a couple of cable bites. The little animal thingies that go on your phone cord. You
got a Winnie the Pooh and you got a Stitch, right?
I got a Stitch, I got an Eevee, and I got a Pikachu.
Oh, yeah.
But I only bought the Eevee and Pikachu from them. I bought a Stitch later when we went to Tokyo.
Got it.
Which, in hindsight, why didn't I just wait until I was in Tokyo and at the Pokemon Center to buy those cable bites?
Would have been, it would have been a lot cheaper. But yeah, so that was one thing that we were just completely surprised about when we went to Tokyo Disney. Yeah. And the pricing, and we were like, okay, I guess we're going to buy a little bit more than we had anticipated because we can afford it because the prices were just so cheap.
And we didn't anticipate that. Even the food and everything was excellent. I think Under on my Instagram, under stories, under travel, I believe all the stories from Tokyo Disney was there. If not, I'll make a new highlight underneath on my Instagram profile so you guys can see. But it's
Oh yeah,
really fantastic.
yeah. You edited all that stuff, huh?
Mm-mm.
Oh no. Well, no, you did all of the editing for it, but I think we still have some left to put up, right?
Tons. Like there's like at least 2 episodes of Disney Bounding with Wendy left on there, plus a day of vlog. So sorry, I'll get to
Well,
it.
that stuff is so hard to edit together. It's just
Yeah.
so much material because we pretty much were walking around going, "Ooh, look at this! Ooh, look at this! Ooh, look at this!" When we get home, we find out we're like, "Oh crap! We've got like 20 hours worth of footage here.
And
How do
you're just
we
sitting here
edit
like,
this?"
I can't do it. Oh my gosh.
One 1 hour video will probably be just one ride.
Yeah.
But one thing that I loved about Tokyo Disney too is the fact that everything was just so immersive, especially Tokyo Disney Sea. If we could have easily have spent 3 to 4 days there just going through everything, checking out all the stuff. I was really bummed that 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea wasn't up and running because I saw some videos on it. It just looks so intense.
Yeah. It's amazing. And yeah, maybe we'll do another live stream if you guys want of us just talking about Tokyo Disney, because it was so much fun and we cannot wait to go back. And when we do go back, we also want to go back and experience Universal Studios.
Yes.
So much.
I will definitely want to check that out.
Oh my gosh, Chris Mendez, thank you
so much,
for a super chat. Oh yes, more tips.
What?
More tips on the tour that he's talking about. So the tour comes with a lunch, an awesome rare pin that you get to take a picture inside Walt's apartment. The happiest haunts and the holiday tours are great.
Ooh.
How do we
the
not
happiest
know
haunts?
about this?
I want to do that.
Okay,
we're now going to have a list of different things to do. As soon as Disney opens, we are going to check out the Walk in Walt's footsteps, the happiest haunts. Oh, that just sounds awesome.
And the holiday tour and Walk in Waltz. I feel ashamed to call myself a Disneyland fan. I didn't even know about these tours.
A Disneyland fan pass holder and still not know this stuff.
We know other secrets to the park, but you know. Well, we'll do the tours and then maybe one day we can, this is like one of my bucket list things, to go up to Club 33 and have lunch there. That's tough, what I would love to do.
Because the only way that you can do that is really through connections and people that you know.
We gotta know
My brother once was able to do that. Yeah. He actually knew, like his wife knew someone.
Yes.
And he was just like, oh my God, this is awesome.
That was his like life
dream. He was a huge Disney fan.
It's like equivalent to, maybe it's not equivalent, but it's like exclusive as like Magic Castle. You have to be invited. You have to know like a magician who works there. And you have to know like a Club 33 member. Thank you so much, Chris. I wrote all of it down on my little sheet of paper.
Which you can't see because of the light reflection. And thank you so much for the super chat, dude.
Thank you so much, you guys. It's really amazing. Okay, so a bit of movie news, and then we'll get back into our AMA.
Yes.
So on Wednesday's chat, live stream, we talked about the Oscars. We talked about there was a new update on the rules, and they're kind of lifting some sort of restriction that they had in place originally for movies because of this time. A lot of movies are hitting VOD only and not going to theaters because theaters are closed. So they lifted the rule, and one of the rules was that the films who went to VOD can be considered for an Oscar as long as it schedules a 7-day run in theaters.
Yeah.
And you and I kind of were like, well, that makes sense, but also like theaters are closed, so how do we do that?
Yeah.
You know, and so does that mean we're gonna get a whole backlog of like all these movies that need to have their runs, and how is that going to mess with?
It doesn't even say how big of a run. Like, it's true, 7 days. Well, no, that's how long of a run. I'm wondering like how many theaters. I'm like, if you're like, okay, fine, let's just put it in one theater for 7 days. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Then okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, then again, why is that even important?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
I agree.
Why is it even important that this movie gets put in one theater for 7 days when you could? I mean, when everyone's already seen it. Kind of a thing.
I feel like, sorry, I'm interrupting myself. Chris Mendez says, I work at Downtown Disney, and that's how I know about all this. I met John and Ann twice when they had a restaurant I work at. Oh, that's so nice.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Awesome. They go to Disney all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're pass holders as well, I think. I don't know for sure.
Well, I'm sure, if they've been seen there like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, that's actually
Then
true.
yeah, it's kind of like, okay, you must have a pass.
That's true, because then to buy the actual tickets,
Yeah.
like every single time, it's kind of like, why don't you just get a pass? Because the balance equals out. Okay, sorry. Going back to, I just had to read that like follow up. Going back to the
Nope.
Oscar talk. So now Variety is saying the Academy of, and I'm just reading straight from their website, the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences have tweaked its Oscar. I don't know what that was. Okay, turning that
Commercial.
off. Has tweaked its Oscar eligibility rules in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. So during a meeting on Tuesday, this is past Tuesday,
Okay.
the Board of Governors approved a temporary hold on the requirement that a film needs a 7-day theatrical run in a commercial theater in LA County to qualify for the Oscars. Instead, the films will be allowed to be released digitally without playing in theaters. However, that doesn't mean any movie premiering on a streaming service is eligible for Oscar Gold. To be considered, the streamed film must have already had a planned theatrical release. So that rule is still in place. They just don't have to book the 7-day run. They also have to make sure that these films are available for the exclusive Academy screening room. That's the member-only streaming site within 60 days of the film streaming or VOD release. So that's like a slight little tweak, which I think it makes sense.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, still, I don't think that they really need to have the rule of having it be in theaters just because you were actually had the money to be able to put your movie in big commercial theaters.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it doesn't deserve an Oscar.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What?
We have a super chat. I almost missed it.
Oh, cool.
This is from Vanja. Vanja, where's your comment? Let us know. We'll pick some stuff out. But thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you guys so much.
You guys are crushing it. Thank you so much. If you guys are ever curious about what we do with the money from Super Chat, and I know like you guys don't need to know, but it goes to improving our equipment. It doesn't go to like us spending money on like frivolous things. It goes into improving camera equipment. It goes into
replacing light bulbs in our
yeah,
lights.
Our lights are these light setups that we've had are like 6 years old. And the light bulbs we're on the last one. One of the cords have stopped working, so it's a little sad.
It's funny. We sit there sometimes because where you plug it in, you kind of have to like, okay, click it on. No. Okay, there it is. Let's wrap it up. Okay, good. Wire. Yeah. And then like tape it down. But
yeah, our camera is really old too. I think it's like 5 years old.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, I have to say about 5 because we got it after we moved into our new place after we got married.
It overheats after about 15 to 20 minutes, so that's super fun.
So yeah, the next big purchase that we're getting is a new camera.
That or a new laptop, because God knows this one gives me so much problem. This one's about 7 years old.
And the thing is, everything decides to die
at the same time. Why?
You know, I have a ton of costumes that I use for like special events and stuff. And at one point, all of them decide to have something rip, tear, or break all at the same time. So I'm like, great, I have to fix all of these now, kind of a thing.
Yeah, you're like, goodbye, buddy. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So just want to let you guys know what we do with all that. It goes to improving everything we do here within our YouTube space. Thank you so much, Vanja. You are awesome. Thank you for supporting. So that's kind of what we wanted to kind of like a little update on Oscars. But now let's get to some fun conversation. We are going to talk about a live action Hercules, and this is going to be not directed, but it's going to be produced by the Russo brothers, and this is going to go under the banner of their production company AGBO, and that is the same production company who did Extraction, that is now on Netflix, which has incredible action sequences. It's shot in an incredibly very unique way, and we finally saw like a little bit of making of where the director literally strapped himself to the hood of a car for some of those chase scenes. And I read somewhere that he was like held together, but it was like by duct tape.
They just taped him down. You're like, just enough duct tape. You ain't moving anywhere.
And he wasn't wearing like any sort of padding. Like he had a vest on that kind of with the Steadicam, but there wasn't like extra like shin padding or anything like that to protect himself. And I was just like, whoa! It's so impressive because that just means that you have to really trust your stunt team to
trust your driver.
Trust your driver to perform exactly, no incident, and all the parties to be at the right place at the right time every single take. And that's just ever so impressive. So I absolutely love it. So, the Russos producing Hercules. I think it's fantastic. I love
Hmm.
what the Russo brothers have done with the Avengers, obviously. And I think Hercules, because it can be a super action packed movie with a lot of
Yeah.
CGI underworld creatures and a lot of good fight sequences, because that's what Hercules does. Like in that
Yeah.
whole montage where he's beating up all these monsters from all the Greek mythologies, I can't wait to see that play out. And I think I got to go back to an article that's written by Collider, but they have hired, where is it? David Callahan to start working on the script, and David Callahan, his credits include Wonder Woman 1984, the upcoming Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, which is great, and
Cool.
he's also working on the next Spider-Man movie.
So he has some
He knows his
experience.
way around a script.
Yeah, but this is the what is it? I think it was Jack who mentioned that. Hey, do you think it's going to be a musical? Kind of like
Yes,
how they
let's get
pull.
into that. Let
This
me pull
is
up
this is
Jack's
where you
comment.
really start debating on which direction you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to make it more like Beauty and the Beast, which was had all of the songs, it had a lot of the same moments? Or do you take it more in the direction of Mulan, which has no songs and is more of like an action movie?
Yeah.
I think either way you go, you're going to be hitting different kind of hurdles.
Yes.
If you go the musical route, it's going to be a little bit more. I think you're going to have to make it a little bit more campy, a little bit more like the movie was. It was a little tongue in cheek when it came to the relationship to the gods, how they take the mythology and kind of have fun with it. But if you make it a live action movie, you start running into the same problems that like the Rock Hercules
I never got to see it.
or you you'll fade into more of what some of the movies that have tried to make Hercules work and failed.
Well, I think first and foremost we have to remember that if it's a Disney live action, then you have to keep it within that realm of it can't not go too dark. You got to keep it a little bit lighter. I can see them going either way, because I remember at the beginning, before I even got to see Mulan, before any of us knew anything about Mulan, when news first broke that there weren't going to be the sidekicks, right? No Mushu, no Cricky. I was like, oh, what? Okay. And more importantly, no song. And I was like, no songs? What about Reflection? What about I'll Make a Man Out of You?
Yeah.
Like those are just great songs that I felt like really elevated what's already a good movie.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't really happy about the decision until I did the set visit for Mulan and talked to the producer and understood where they were coming from and the reason why they decided to make these decisions to not have the song or the sidekicks in the movie. And I understood where they're coming from in a different way that they were going to tell a story. So they basically weren't going to do, say, a Lion King, for example. They were going to go beat for beat, and they weren't going to copy and paste and just make it live action Mulan. They wanted to kind of stand on its own, keeping the same similar beats and moments from the movie, but not needing to rely on the songs to enrich the story. Which, now having seen the film, I will say that I understand the decision of not having the soldiers break out in a song in a very intense training montage, or in the midst of telling the story of like Mulan going off to war and literally trying not to have her identity revealed, because that was something that was like she could be executed because of that. That's like super bad. No.
Yeah. I think they could take a little bit of both worlds. What they really should do. Take some of the big songs, because I mean, if you take out all the songs, then you've got to take out all of the muses.
They're only all good songs. Oh, you cannot. Okay,
and you can't do that.
So let's get into that. I can see them, if they want to focus on the story of Hercules and telling it, and kind of going the veins of Mulan and putting in a slightly different spin than the animated movie and going no song. I can see why. But to me, one of the appeals of Hercules, it was that the muses were telling the story.
Yes.
And with like how they depicted, like, with like a vase, and then the animation came to life, and then that's how. And I love, that's just something you can do in animation that no one can ever take away, is how creative you can, and multiple layers you can have in a movie like Hercules. So with that said, I can see why they did it with Mulan. I am trying to like tweak in my head and see how I want to see this play out.
Yeah.
I really would love for the Russo brothers to tackle this with musical numbers.
Yeah, I would
really,
like
really
it too.
would.
I would really like to see some of these big musical numbers, and I think you can keep it a little bit more lighthearted than trying to take it, you know, in the direction of Mulan, which is a lot more serious.
Yes.
But I mean,
Mulan has its light moments too. I don't want you guys to think that, and I know I still can't talk about the film yet, but I don't want you guys to think that it's all like, ooh, serious only, game faces on. Like, no, Mulan has a lot of comedic moments in it too.
Yeah, but I think making Hercules a little bit, keeping it more on the funny side, I think is going to be very important for them.
I agree.
Because it's so far-fetched from, what is it called? The actual Greek mythology. I mean, when you actually read Greek mythology and then you're like, wow, they kind of just took the name Hercules and then just was like, okay, let's just make up our own thing.
Yeah. Hercules, but, like the actual Greek mythology is...
Yeah, the fact that Hera is, you know, a loving mother. Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, I would love...
That's funny.
I would really love to see them have still some of the songs, maybe put in a few more like good action scenes, because there's that whole montage in the movie
of him beating up all
the monsters, but you could really just have it. I mean, you could really have some really awesome action and fight scenes, especially with the Hydra and all that fun stuff. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting on what they decide, in which direction they decide to go. Because there's a lot of different directions that they could take it. It seems like they're going to go more of the action route because of the Russo brothers, the guy from Extraction.
Yeah.
So
no. There's no there. So the stunt choreographer for the stunt choreographer / director for Extraction is not a part of this. What that was linked to is it's the producing company.
Producing company.
So AGPO is the Russo's production company that also produced Extraction, which is why I brought up that example. So I don't know if anybody from that worked on Extraction, aside from the production company itself, is going to be involved in Hercules. So sorry if that was kind of
it's okay.
confusing to you.
I easily get confused. It's very easy.
Okay, so I put it in the chat just a little bit ago to kind of let us know what your fan casting is for Hercules, because I think that's like one of the fun things that we can do when we hear about a movie title that we love and we have known, such as Hercules, and getting to do like a fan casting. So we have our lists.
Real quick, but Star Drew also has a very important point, because it could be the Marvel Hercules.
How so?
They have a Hercules in the Marvel universe.
What?
In the Marvel comic books, they actually have Hercules, and he is actually a character. So wait a second, is it it's Marvel. No, Ares. They also have Ares.
That's DC.
No, Ares was with
Wonder Woman?
the Dark Avengers.
Oh, okay.
I think Hercules.
How confusing!
Hercules
same name for superheroes are in both.
Well, yeah, because they're on mythological characters that they can just throw in there.
Yeah.
So, but let's do the thing that I'm sure everyone's waiting to do. Fan picks.
Do you have your list? Do you want to go first?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, so I went through a lot of other people's choices as well. And I was like, okay, I like this, but I also kind of like this. I like switching some of these around. Let's first, of course, start off with the big people, with the big characters.
Okay.
Hercules.
Let's go young and then adult.
Okay, so for young Hercules, I actually think Tom Holland would be an awesome pick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he kind of has that, he definitely can do awkward very well. And young Hercules
and he's a little skinny.
He's a little skinny and scrawny, but but in good shape.
Yeah.
So I think he would actually make a really good young Hercules. And keeping with the Marvel theme of this, I think Chris Hemsworth would make a really good Hercules.
Thor.
He is Thor, but Chris Hemsworth as Hercules.
That would be fun.
As an older Hercules.
Yeah.
And plus also young Tom Holland kind of looks like a young Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. No, I can totally see that. 100%.
I also wanted to get our friend Lou Wagner in as young Hercules. He's an inspiring actor that we've known for years, since he was a little kid.
He needs to break out. He is so good. He's so dedicated to his craft, and he absolutely 100% would have, if they go with like the blonde hair, blue eyed look that the Disney animated one has. If they go with that, then yeah, Lou is absolutely the right Ooh, that's a good call.
I think he would be
Nice.
an incredible job. He's an incredible actor. He's just very much a no name right now kind of thing. He's up and coming.
He's known, but he's up and coming.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, he definitely has.
He worked with Quentin Tarantino, right? I think he was in Django Unchained, but they cut his scene.
Unfortunately, as it happens, actually more than you think in Hollywood. For my picks for Young Hercules, I also picked Tom Holland, and we didn't talk about this when we did it. And then I thought if they were going to show even younger Hercules, I picked Noah Jupe, who was young Shia LaBeouf essentially in Honey Boy.
I didn't see. I still need to see that.
We have it. We should watch it. Also, you can see him in A Quiet Place.
Oh,
The Boy in a Quiet Place. I think he's a hell of an actor, so I think he can do it. For adult Hercules, I actually put Toby Kebbell.
Oh,
because I feel like he is underrated. I think he's really, really good, and he definitely has the physique to play Hercules. And I was also thinking if they were going away from the blonde hair, blue eyed look, who I would want. So Toby Kebbell was somebody that came to mind right away. And another person I put down for adult Hercules is Zac Efron, because of the blonde hair, blue eyed thing.
Yeah,
he is. I know people still kind of associate with him like young like High School Musical, but he is like literally full grown. Yeah. And also, if they needed this to be a musical, he can 100% sing, as we can see in The Greatest Showman. Which brings me to the next casting choice, Megara, and I'm gonna go quick because it goes with Zac Efron. If I were to cast Zac Efron as adult Hercules, then I would want to bring Zendaya into the fold and have the two of them be the lovers in this one, just like they were in The Greatest Showman. And I think that would be perfect. Or Ariana Grande. Yeah.
I actually put Zendaya down as Megara.
She's fantastic.
As well. She does an amazing job, and I think that would be because we know she can sing.
Yeah.
So, but it also really goes in which direction they decide to take this as well. But yeah, different for Meg. I put down Zendaya as well. But that was a really tough one for me to try and figure out who do I want to play. Because you can go in many different directions.
You really can, and it really depends on which way they want to go. But like if you're looking for someone that fits like Meg animation is very like slender with the high ponytail, which made me think of both Ariana and Zendaya because they're both very slender. They both have rock high ponytails, and they both can sing, and they're both in the Disney family. So that kind of makes sense to me. Who is your pick for? We got to talk about the big bad villain, Hades.
Okay, for Hades, I actually have a couple that I would love. I mean, either one of these I would love.
I have three.
Oh, okay,
and they're very different.
I mean, it's hard to follow James Woods' footsteps because he really did make that character his own.
What if he just did it again?
I wouldn't mind that.
Wait, is he?
Yeah, James. I think he's still alive.
Okay.
Yeah, James. I mean, and also it doesn't really matter what the actor looks like because they're probably going to do a lot of makeup, a lot of CGI to his face, the flame hair.
Yay!
So, but I also put. I mean, ones that I would be okay with. I saw a couple people say Hugh Jackman. I thought would be really good. Also, William Dafoe. I saw someone put down William Dafoe.
He played the Shinigami in the live action one for Netflix for Death Note, and it really, really works. Like my favorite part about that Death Note.
Jim Carrey would be interesting for Hades.
Ooh, and Benedict Cumberbatch.
Ooh, but one person that I thought had a really cool voice to pull it off would be Keith David, and he is the Shadow Man from Princess and the Frog.
Yes,
and I'm like. He has a really cool voice, and as the Shadow Man, he kind of has that used carsman kind of feel to him.
Yeah.
So I think he would actually be a really good choice for Hades.
Ooh, yeah, those are good choices.
And to make him a little bit more of a deeper voice, and a little bit more menacing.
Yeah.
Where James Woods kind of came off as very much that high energy.
That's what I liked about it.
Slick back used car salesman. I think Keith David would just have that more alluring kind of used car salesman.
Yeah.
To where you almost become seduced by his voice, kind of thing.
And we have a fun fact from Supersonic Hero 10 who writes,
I like that
Keith
name.
David, I know, right? Keith David is Goliath in Gargoyles.
Ooh, oh yeah.
What a voice. Okay.
I love his voice.
My fantasy casting for Hades, I also have three, and they're very, very different from each other. my first choice would be Sam Rockwell.
Ooh.
I think he does a fantastic villain. I think he's totally able to deliver the lines with like the quippy, the wit, and the speed that matches the animation. Another one I picked just because I like to see him play a bad guy, and I think he can do the fast snack talking as well as Oscar Isaac.
Oh yeah.
And because my friend Laura keeps reposting that one Dune photo of Oscar Isaac over and over, so he's been on my mind. Just because he looks fantastic.
That would be a really good one.
Yeah,
I like that.
And then one that's a little bit more obscure, because like the age maybe not work out, but I think it could. Benicio del Toro.
Oh.
Yes.
That's a good one. Yeah, because he definitely can do quirky.
He can definitely do quirky, and I think he can bring a whole different like vibe to Hades that we've never had before, and he can be threatening at the same time.
I think he's a little too. He's a little slower with his dialogue.
But he can. You can take a dive into a character, and it depends on the direction. So if they say they want to keep it, I think they're going to look to the animated and for inspiration.
Yes.
If it's a live action remake, but yeah. Ooh, Debbie also wrote Brad Whitford. Yes, he's great too. He's really good. That's really good choices. I think. Yeah, a lot of good choices for Hades. Who are your picks for Pain and Panic?
Oh, so this is one of my. I saw a lot of different ones, but honestly, I think Key and Peele.
Yes, me too. That's what I wrote. Yes, Ducky and Bunny.
I think you're looking for this one are dynamic duos in comedy.
With good chemistry who can improv with each other.
And honestly, that's what these two are gonna have to do. Is probably just do a lot of ad libs, a lot of just
let them go in a room.
Just
like, here's your baseline, go, and they can just go for it.
I think those two would be awesome. I mean, they did an amazing job as Bear and Ducky. Is that what?
Ducky and Bunny.
Bunny. That's right. He was a bunny. I was like, bear? He wasn't a bear. But yeah, Ducky and Bunny.
Yeah.
So honestly, I mean, there's a lot of other people that I think you can get to do this.
Do you have more?
No, all I have is Key and Peele.
Oh no, you have one more right there.
Oh no, that's for Zeus.
Oh, okay.
I still have Zeus, Hera. We already did Meg, Hades. Oh, okay. So the next Hera. Sure. Hera. You need someone that can pull off that goddess kind of look and feel and dialogue. And I think either Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh my God! I thought you and I said the same thing again. Okay, continue.
Or Nicole Kidman. I think both of those ladies will do a fantastic job.
Nicole Kidman would look so good.
And
Pfeiffer too.
Both Michelle Pfeiffer and Nicole Kidman.
Both queens in my books.
Would pull off excellent Heras. And because they can also go in both directions. If they decide to go with the loving mother, then both of them can pull it off.
Yeah.
However, both of them can really pull off good villains.
Yes, they can. And real quick, before I dive into my Hera choices, Star Drew wrote Kevin Smith as Messenger of the Gods. What a great choice. And he would have just like an hour-long like monologue. That would be fantastic. Another person that I would put as messenger of the gods would be Chris Rock.
Oh.
Or Tucker, one of the two.
Chris Tucker as a god. I think that would be. He would.
I think probably Chris Rock, but yeah. Either one of them, I think they have the comedy chops and they have like that fast talking capability. That would be fantastic.
Angelina Jolie would be a really good one for Hera.
She can do anything. My picks for Hera are Cate Blanchett.
Ooh.
Because I was also thinking of like a goddess, ethereal kind of a feel, and she's only played Galadriel in all the Lord of the Rings movies. So her, and then I had to shout out the goddess herself, Michelle Yeoh.
Okay.
Michelle Yeoh as Hera would be amazing. What about Zeus?
Zeus. Okay, so there's a couple different ones out there that I would be
Gemma
happy
Chen for Hera.
Ooh.
Gemma Chen, she's so pretty. Yes.
Where did I put Zeus?
Zeus.
Okay, so a lot of people put The Rock down for Zeus.
I did. Because he played Hercules in a movie already, and I thought it would be kind of funny.
And I thought that was cool, and I thought it would be good. But I mean, he's already, the person I picked has already played Zeus, and that's Liam Neeson.
When did he play Zeus?
He played Zeus in Clash of the Titans.
Oh yeah, that's right. And he's got that voice.
He's got that voice. He's got that presence. I think he could do a really good Zeus.
Yes.
But listen, who did you put down as Zeus?
Aside from Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I put down Idris Elba.
Ooh.
Yeah, Idris Elba.
And you know he's ripped and he's in good shape and he's
got the voice.
He's got that voice. He's got the presence.
Yeah.
I think that would be really good.
Did you put down somebody for Phil? Hercules' mentor? Or should we just not mess with perfection and just keep it Danny DeVito?
Danny DeVito. That's the only person I put.
Don't mess with perfection.
I was sitting here going, who else to put down as Phil? I mean,
somebody said
Phil is Danny DeVito. He's even written as Danny DeVito. And plus, Phil's going to be one of those characters that you're going to have to put into a green suit.
Yeah.
And just animate him.
Oh yeah, because he's not a centaur. But a
oh my gosh.
God, what?
I know what it's called.
What creature?
He's a satyr.
Oh yes.
He's a satyr.
I was like, it's not a centaur because that's a horse and half horse, half man. I saw in the chat a lot of people were putting down Peter Dinklage.
Oh.
So that would be a good choice as well, actually.
That would be a nice choice. A good choice to pick.
Another person.
Of course, me seeing Peter Dinklage in anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love Peter Dinklage.
Vanja also suggested Jason Momoa. I can see Jason Momoa as either Hercules or Zeus. Or Hades.
Or Hades.
Well, okay. I think I'd rather see him as Hercules.
Hades needs to be a little bit more slimy, I think.
Oh,
not slimy, but greasy, I think is probably a good way to put it. Yeah. So.
And then, did you do muses?
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is with the muses.
I'm going to grab my cable.
Is that there is a ton of different ladies, I think, that could pull this off. And one of the ones that you just want to pop off the top of your head is Beyonce.
Beyonce.
You want to have Beyonce in one of them. And she's already worked with Disney and Lion King. So, and a lot of the stuff that they're going to be doing is singing.
Yep.
So you need a powerful singer in there. But I also put in Queen Latifah. I think she would be a lot of fun.
Is Ursula.
Oh yeah, in the Little Mermaid movie. I mean, yeah, she's Ursula, but I think she would make a really good job as a muse. Jennifer Hudson would do an amazing job. Ariana Grande would make an awesome muse.
She'd be like the youngest little muse.
Michelle Williams.
Yeah.
And I always butcher her name.
Oh, Anika
Rose.
Anika Rose for she's Tiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic Broadway voice. Oh, you know what? If we're gonna go Broadway for my muses pick, here's who I had, and then I'll tell you who I.
Oh, then you're like, but
I thought of her, and I think she would be fantastic as an addition. And I feel like singers, like mainstream singers are great, but Broadway singers don't get the acknowledgement that they deserve when it comes to like making the transition from like screen to Broadway to screen sometimes. And I don't know if that's what they want, but I think like kind of like a cross-pollination would be really, really great for musicals.
Yeah.
Kind of like an Idina Menzel sort of a deal. You know, she came from Broadway, and look at her now. She's,
and now she's doing movies like this.
She's like Frozen and things like that. Okay, so my muses picks, I put Destiny's Child in there. I gotta have Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle in the three, but I also picked Lizzo.
Oh.
I love her to death. Amber Riley. I put Janelle Monáe and Jennifer Hudson as those choices, but when you were talking about Anika Rose, my head immediately went to, and for any sort of like Broadway fans out there, if you've ever seen Aida, Heather Headley would 100% fit. If you've heard the soundtrack of Aida, her voice is like velvet. It's fantastic, and it'll be a perfect pick for one of the muses. Yeah. So those are our picks for our fan casting for Hercules. I want to wait for the chat to catch up to see what everybody's saying for some of the other ones that we didn't catch. This Life of Ours says Anthony Hopkins is Zeus.
I think that would be, he'd be a different kind of Zeus.
But I would love that too.
Yeah, well, because he has the regalness of a leader. He has that voice, that presence. I think, though, I mean, it depends on in which direction they go. If they want older Zeus
without the like a fully clothed.
Zeus. Because what is it in the cartoon? All he has is like something around his waist and the little band. Yeah. So he's ripped. And if you're going to go with that, then you have to kind of go with the Rock for that.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, Courtney Rose is here. Courtney Rose from Australia. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hope you guys are doing well over there. Sam Claflin anywhere. This is coming from Jack Robbins. Sam Claflin. I don't know if I could see him as Hercules, but I could maybe see him as like maybe one of the gods.
Maybe.
Speaking of gods, and I know we didn't pick this, but like, who would you pick as Aphrodite?
Oh, the goddess of love?
Yeah.
Ooh, I haven't thought about that. You need someone that just kind of exudes
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie?
I was thinking also Ana de Armas from what's that? Oh, Knives Out.
Oh, yeah.
She would be fantastic. She has such a gorgeous face. A lot of other people are putting for the muses, Christina Aguilera, Lady Gaga, Salma Hayek
as one of the goddesses.
She could also be Aphrodite's.
Mm-hmm.
She's classic actress. Let's see who else. Jennifer Lawrence as a muse, as Meg, as Aphrodite.
I like the Peter Dinklage one for Phil.
That's a good one.
Oh, I didn't think about that, but that would be really good.
A lot of people also put Chris Pratt
as
probably Hercules.
Oh,
yeah, he could do it.
I would actually think of him more of as a young Hercules. Just because he's a little, he's a little dorky.
He's like a big kid.
Yeah, he is.
He's like a big kid in all the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, how funny! Scarlett Johansson would be a good. Gal Gadot as the god of love.
Done.
Man, I
Done.
I
right
don't know
there.
how you beat that.
That is
love
good.
Gal Gadot.
And she has that presence. She has that regalness.
Yeah.
And I think if you let it be a little bit more comedic, she could have a lot of fun with that character.
She can have so much fun with it. She's really grown as an actress.
Kind of like how Keira Knightley had a lot of fun with the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Not the best movie.
Not the best movie.
But she certainly had fun with the role.
You can tell that she was like, okay, this movie's whatever, but I'm going to have a blast.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You guys, this is a really, really awesome stream. Like, so much more fun than I anticipated, because I was worried that we didn't have enough topics in there, and I was like, oh no, like what are
but then we started talking about Tokyo Disney, and then we started doing fantasy picks. So we ended up just chatting like crazy.
In fact, we've gone over our usually designated hour, and usually right after the live stream we take out the dogs, so the dogs have to go outside to do their little bathroom break. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to end our stream for today. But I want to thank all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you all of you for sending your super chats.
Thank you guys so much.
We appreciate it so much, and thank you for any new subscribers and viewers for your first time here. Thank you guys, and hope you guys enjoy. We will be back on Wednesday with another stream at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can follow us here on YouTube. We are on Instagram, just at The Movie Couple. We are on Twitter as at The Movie Couple _ because The Movie Couple was already taken, so we couldn't take it. And what else do we have to talk about? That's it. I think that's it. We have a trailer reaction coming up for Capone that's going to air on Monday. We've already filmed it, but we didn't want to throw too much content out there in one day, so we saved it for Monday. So that's coming, along with so much more other content. So thank you guys so much, and we're gonna go and let the dogs out for a quick walk, and we will see you on Wednesday or in other videos. Bye, you guys. Thank you.
You guys rock.